wasn't for you, Mario, if it wasn't for you. You are the wind beneath my wing.
Hey!
What?
Vince!
Vince,
we talked about not being biased on the show, and now you're one with Mario Balotelli and
it's...
And Bette Midler.
And, well, it's... Steve, if it wasn't for him...
Let's go. Let's start the show.
Cara amici sportivi, welcome to yet another edition of Red Card Weekly. Here we mostly speak about Serie A, sometimes international, sometimes European. And yes, well, we're not professionals, nor do we pretend to be. Always, I got a dual introduction today, Steve. Dico senza sempre il signor Steve Polillo e io di Reggio Vincenzo Tavernese, ma tutte le due unite siamo 100% calabresi.
Calabria.
Welcome, Steve. I think we're a little excited right now. We're going to start off directly into our guest.
Yes. Very excited to have on the show an author, a viola fan by heart, a grappa connoisseur.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
The one, the only, Mr. Giancarlo Rinaldi.
Welcome, Mr. Rinaldi. Shall we call you Jinkers, Mr. Rinaldi?
You call whatever you like, boys.
Perfect. Steve, you want to move over? Everybody can see over here.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
So we're very grateful to have you on our show. I'm a bit starstruck. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, Mr. Rinaldi, I can tell you very honestly, Vince here, you might not get a lot of questions from Vince today. The questions are pretty much going to come from me, and it's not because I don't value your work as an author, as someone who knows the game of soccer. Just Mr. Vince here on the side is a little bit starstruck.
A little bit.
And I think he fainted when you said yes to come on to our show.
I did not faint. I lost consciousness a bit, but that's besides the point.
Mr. Rinaldi, we all know that you're a fanatic of the viola. If I could start you off with just a question, we're almost at halfway point of the season in the Serie A. If I could ask you what you think of Fiorentina's campaign so far in the Italian Serie A Scudetto.
It's been pretty good so far. I mean, today was a bad result against Roma. Roma's a strong team though to go to the Olimpico. Not easy to go and get points. And they gave it a good shot, but Roma were the better side over the game. So, no complaints there. I think playing European football as well, that's been hard for Fiorentina. It's been a change to have the Europa League games as well. So they've done really well in the Europa League games. They've done, there's been a few games where they've lost points in Serie A where they could have taken them. But, I think they've been pretty entertaining. And if you think that the biggest investment of the summer, Mario Gomez, we've hardly seen him play, then I think if they can get him back and get him scoring goals, then they can move up the table a little bit further.
Perfect. If you would have to grade them, if you would have to give them a grade, what would you grade them?
I think a B plus maybe I would say. I couldn't say A. A would be sitting in the top 3 probably. But on European we've brought Giuseppe Rossi is back scoring goals for fun. That's been a real pleasure. Juan Cuadrado's great. Borja Valero, a joy to watch. Goalkeeper, a bit less fun to watch. Tends to make a few mistakes. And the defence the same, But I would say overall, I didn't enjoy today so much. But over the season, it's been pretty good so far.
They haven't played badly. I don't know if we can move maybe the webcam so you get a bit more in the center. If you can move it to your left, I believe, Steve. Yeah, just a bit because the other way around. There, a bit more. There we go. Perfect. Now, for me, I don't know if you feel the same. Did you think when Mario Gomez went down, did you prepare for are they going to be able to make it? I didn't think, and I love Giuseppe Rossi, I didn't think he was able to carry the team on his shoulders, and I'm happy to say that I was wrong because they played fantastic. Going back to that Juventus game when they came back, did you see Giuseppe Rossi being able to take the team on his back and carry it the way he has?
No, I didn't expect that, especially because he's a different kind of player to Mario Gomez, where Gomez is a penalty box finisher, the man that all moves go towards. Rossi works more outside the penalty box. He can work off a striker. So, Fiorentina were set up this season really to play with the two of them, one off the other, Rossi off Gomez. So to suddenly take out Gomez, really had to go back to the drawing board and come up with a new set of tactics. I think got to give Montella a lot of credit for that he's found a way to get the best out of Rossi, even not having a target man to play alongside him. It's a shame really that the drop off from Gomez to, although Ryder Matos has done well in the European games, I think the drop off between Gomez to him is quite significant. So it's been a real pleasant surprise that I think we all knew Rossi was good, but I don't think after serious injury, I don't think anybody expected him to come back and be quite this good.
You touched on giving Montella credit for Rossi's, let's say, revivals in the Serie A. I wanted to ask you just a question about today's game, specifically against Roma, where he decided that Pizarro was not going to start. Do you know if there was some a motive behind not starting him, or did he just decide to put a lumberjack midfield in place, a la Don Allegri, our favorite mister in the Serie A championship?
I know you boys think very highly of Don Allegri, so that's high praise. I think that, I don't think it's any secret. If you look at the statistics, Fiorentina are a little bit different away from home to how they are at home. They've conceded a lot more goals at home than they have away from home, and that's because I think he sets up the team to be a bit more enterprising at home in front of the Fiorentina support, whereas away they do try to cover up a bit more. And I do think there's some sense that Roma midfield is very strong, and I think that especially in the early stages of the game, they might have thought Pizarro could be overwhelmed by the likes of De Rossi, Strootman, Pjanic. These are all hard-working midfielders, so I could see some sense in that. Also, Pizarro had been out with an injury as well, and maybe to bring him back in to a game like that would have been a gamble. In the end, when he came on, I think he did pretty well. He did kind of regret, why we maybe didn't start with him. But at the same time, I could see a certain sense in playing Ambrosini. He's a man with a lot of experience, a lot of young cards to his name, and he did go in and sit quite well. I didn't have a problem with the team selection.
Perfect. Just another thing, we know that the big news this week was the draw from the World Cup. We wanted to have just your opinion on what do you think of Italy's draw, if you could explain it in one word, and also just elaborate on exactly what you think of the draw.
In one word, challenging. I think it's hard not to. In Italy, we love a conspiracy theory, and so the moment that there was a team to be drawn, the 9 European teams, the moment there was a European team to float, I think everybody in Italy knew it was going to be Italy that was going to be that floating team. I think we know how to manipulate a draw, and I think we expected that really. So to end up, in a sense, it could have gone worse because I don't think England are the best of the other European teams that we could have landed. But having said that, I think to go and play in the Amazonian rainforest is going to be a challenge. There's no doubt about that. Uruguay is a strong side as well, and Italy have a special ability to do badly against weaker teams. So Costa Rica could be a worry. But I think that it's a tricky draw, but it's certainly not an impossible draw. I think we've got teams there that are on their day. If you remember at the European nations, Italy and England drew 0-0, but it was the most one-sided 0-0 game I've seen in a long time. Italy were a lot superior, and it'd be 2 years on, of course, it'd be different players, but just the same, I think that the way Cesare Prandelli has got into the play, they should have enough to beat England, and that then, that would set them up nicely to go on, hopefully beat Costa Rica, and then play out a draw with Uruguay that gets both of us through in that sneaky Latino way that we both like to play. So I think, as I say, I was unhappy with maybe the procedure of the draw, but the outcome wasn't a disaster.
Yeah, that was a big portion of the soap opera going on this week, where the seedings of FIFA have failed again. What I'd like to ask you though about that is, I'm a firm believer that I believe that this World Cup is the one that FIFA owes to Italy because of Superga and Gran Torino. I don't know. I have this magical feeling, and I don't know if it's me living in a Disney world, but I think that this is a World Cup that's owed to Italy, and it belongs to Gran Torino. So I'm a firm believer, and I think that they will win this World Cup.
Oh.
They will win this World Cup.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay.
That's what I think. It's my personal opinion, and if I'm wrong, obviously it was just an opinion.
We have do we have a series of questionnaires for?
Yeah, we're gonna just throw out some little quirky questions to help Vince relax a bit, because he's obviously the most nervous.
Okay.
Our first question is, being an author that you are, if Adriano Galliani would have to write his own personal biography, what would be the title of this biography?
The bald facts, maybe.
The bald fact. I like that.
Here today, gone tomorrow. Some cheap, a bit cheeky to make any jokes about Galliani's hair, but I think he's been around a long time. That's probably, now that we don't have Sacchi so much anymore, we don't have Spalletti's gone to Russia, I think he's the most famous bald head in Italian football. So
there is
a cheap gag about his hair, probably. Yeah,
there is another one, Juan Antonio, the coach of Atalanta, but we don't get to see him very often because he's always getting red carded. My next question to you would be, it's like a little over-under, Vegas style.
Vegas style.
When you were watching Juve Fiorentina, how many shots of grappa did you have at 2-0 Fiorentina? At 2-0 Juve, and what did it translate into at 4-2 Fiorentina?
Is it over 15.5 shots or under 15.5 shots? Over. Good answer.
Perfect. We know we're Milanistas, but we understand that we like to make fun of our own defensive back line. We've chosen Mexes for this one. We want to know, over 4 books. Has Mexes read over 4 full books in his whole lifetime?
Definitely under.
Definitely under, exactly.
That's right. I believe we have a prize for this right answer.
Yeah.
Now, there's 2 things about this prize. The bad side is that you have to come pick it up in Montreal, but I think you'll appreciate this. I think you'll appreciate Steve. I believe
it's right there.
Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. We have for you a grappa poli. This is, we call it the Jinkers size grappa di poli over here. So we have it over here. So whenever you make it over to Montreal, this will be waiting for all 3 of us.
I'm going to book a flight.
Perfect. Mr. Rinaldi, those are all the questions that we have for you. We would like to take the opportunity to thank you very, very much for supporting us. You do watch our show, you do retweet our show, and you do find us funny where some people might not take us that serious.
And one of the first, a big thank you to you, because you were one of the first, celebrities in this kind of field that gave us, a retweet. We really appreciate it. And for that, I'm going to repeat here what I gave you a nickname back in the day, and your nickname on Red Card Weekly as a special guest will be Mr. Giancarlo. Baggio alla Juve, ce l'ho ancora sul cuore. Me la maglia viola la vesterò sempre con onore. Rinaldi. And there's your official nickname then. Oh, we lost him.
I love it.
There we go. But honestly, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. And now
Mr. Rinaldi, would you like to tell our Red Card Weekly viewers how they could follow you on Twitter or how they could purchase your wonderful book?
I mean, it's very easy. If you've got a Kindle or Kindle app, then just if you search for 20 Great Italian Games, then you'll find the book, Giancarlo Rinaldi, the author, and on Twitter, Ginkers, at Ginkers, Ginkers, and if you want some bad football puns and some grandpa jokes along the way, that's definitely the place to go.
I want to thank you once again. We really appreciate it. We'll check it out. I just got myself a Kindle reader. We'll be able to download it and read it. I'll come over at Steve's house. We could snuggle in. We'll read it together. Steve, what do you think?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Okay. Mr. Rinaldi, Jinkers, thank you very much. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you when you come down to Montreal for that bottle of grappa.
Definitely. Ciao, ragazzi.
Ciao. Okay, I'm okay, Steve.
I don't know if you're okay. I don't know if you're okay. Do you want to take a timeout?
I don't want to take a timeout.
You don't want to take a timeout.
Let's go. We got Inter playing here in the background once it's good to go. No, that was actually great. We directly from Scotland, Fiorentina fan giving us the opportunity here, and we really appreciate it. Even from the beginning when he did retweet to one of our shows, so we can consider ourselves international.
We're international. That's exactly that. And also another thing to all the other followers, we will be contacting you. We do want different opinions on the show. You saw the way it is with even Mr. Rinaldi. Very simple questions, nothing too dramatic, nothing to worry about. We want you on the show. You can tweet us at Red Card Weekly if you want to be on the show. You could also send us an email at redcardweekly@gmail.com. Please feel free. Vince, let's go with the games of this week.
Let's start off, guys, with Friday. Friday we had Bologna versus Juventus. And
my God. Never would I have thought that once you talk about Juve, Bologna, you have the no-no commercial on the back screen. Now that is timing, okay? That's timing because Juve versus Bologna was a no-no.
You know what? I think I was more disappointed in Bologna than, excuse me, I said Bologna, I meant Alessandro Diamanti because I believe he's the only one on the field. Juventus won deservingly. They played, they possessed, even without Pirlo, but I think I don't want to give him too much credit because I think Bologna just, I don't know, like you see Diamanti's there, he's trying to roll up everybody, but in the end, Steve, did we really think maybe a draw, maybe, but
no,
at this point...
I would love to have an argument with Vince and have an argument with all the Juventinis that follow us. Guys, let's face it, the well-oiled machine that is Juventus is starting to pick up its momentum, and the teams behind Juventus have to really be worried about how impressive they're looking against the lower level teams. And when they're not impressive, where they still pick up the 3 points.
Exactly.
So there was a no contest, unfortunately for Bologna. I'm sorry if I offend anybody for Bologna, but at this point I really don't care.
But they got the Diamanti from that team. We don't have much left.
No.
Then we take it over to Saturday. Milan-Livorno. Hold on. Balotelli versus Livorno. And yeah, you know, we're making fun this morning, like, you know, you're the wind beamer, you're my hero. If it wasn't for Balotelli this game, guys, we started playing good for 15 minutes, and all of a sudden we believe we're the Milan of the old, that we could just sit back on our laurels at a 1-0, we just stopped playing. We just completely stopped playing. I don't understand what went on. Livorno, they deserved those 2 goals, and guys, if you remember, there was another counter-attack that they completely missed the shot, that they could have been 3-1 right there. Yes, Balotelli hit the crossbar, but once again, we lead, then we don't play, all of a sudden, 80th minute, bah. Let's start playing.
Milan has become too Mario Balotelli dependent. And if not for certain performances from Kaká, when Mario Balotelli was not available or not in form, we don't have the amount of points that we have right now. At 18 points, this is hopefully it'll turn around and become another campaign like exactly what happened last year, where they're able to pull together some strings of wins. But the thing that angers me the most is this formula had to be found a long time ago. There's a lot of press where Mario Balotelli can't play with him, Mario Balotelli can't play with anybody else. Mario Balotelli. Would you leave the guy alone at a certain point?
In the last 3 games, though, we have to say that he's now that he hasn't gotten nervous, he's calmed down. You can see that he's trying to.
That's 100%
after
true.
that goal, after that Roberto Carlos-esque kind of goal. Did you see him go crazy? No. Let's get back to work. Let's go. And even Kaká gave us all, but you saw he was tired. The young, the same thing. And are we worried about Celtic? About Ajax? If we're gonna play against Ajax like this, forget about it. We're not going anywhere.
But I have to say that this comes from. It has to come from the coaching staff. There has to be a formula that's found to make Mario Balotelli perform at his highest level with a supporting cast.
Yeah.
We saw against Livorno, Mario Balotelli at his highest level alone, though.
Is Honda gonna help out to give maybe a bit of rest in Kaká? I believe so.
You believe so? I don't, just because it's Allegri that's choosing the team. And I'm saying this not to make fun of Allegri. Honestly, you're giving him more options where he can't string together a team that could get a string of results week in and week out. It's always something going wrong.
We're gonna continue this. We're gonna have an hour show. And then we had Udinese and Napoli. Guys, for me, the best game I've seen this weekend.
Yes.
Fantastic. Kudos to Udinese that they never stop believing. Now, does this mean Napoli? This is another hiccup, and another tie. They were winning, and Udinese. Kudos to Guidolin that went from changing formation during the game. I was reading up there on Twitter, and as soon as they counterattacked, they got those opportunities to counterattack. And they're saying that they're Di Natale dependent. I believe not, but now. If this is the price to pay for Napoli to somehow miraculously make the Champions League, Steve, I don't know if Napoli, you think they're going to keep on going on this little.
I don't know.
Fans were chanting, "We deserve more. Deserve more."
It's a string of negative runs, a negative run for Napoli, guys. We said it at the beginning of the season. I personally said it. I found that they made a mistake to not address the defensive problem that they have at Napoli. Yes, and today on Justo del Gol, there was a very good comment. The Napoli fans, Benitez, they have no faith anymore in Paulo Cannavaro.
And it's
Guys, Paulo Cannavaro last year, yes, he made some mistakes, yes, but most of the time he was always on the positive side of a challenge. Would contribute sometimes with certain key goals. Give him a chance at this point.
At least that, yeah. Give him a chance. Give him a chance, seriously, for Cannavaro. But Napoli had a little hiccup, but they still get 1 point. After that, we had this morning we did speak about Fiorentina Roma with the Jinkers. Me and Steve decided to watch it was Lazio, and obviously we had to decide to pick the boringest game in the. And I feel bad, Torino did what they needed to do at the beginning of the game. They got that goal, but then Lazio. They're trying, but they're not. For me, it wasn't like trying convincingly. Like it was, wow, Lazio got robbed. In the end, Torino did what they had to do.
Exactly.
Bad crosses inside. Now Lazio again. Are we seeing the Lazio of usually the second half of the season? Are they going to start pulling off these wins? Is Petkovic? I don't think Petkovic is in trouble so far. What do you think?
I think Petkovic is in trouble.
You think so?
I think the way the team has been performing. And if I just look, just as an outside observer, not looking at anything tactical, I think that Petkovic has lost the room. They don't want to admit it. There was a lot of positive press on Petkovic from the sporting director and the president of Lazio. But let's face it, guys. The guys are not performing. Hernandez is a shell of himself. Missing Klose up there is obviously a major problem. And not addressing a secondary striker who could take over that role of goal scoring.
They have Pereira, but Pereira is still a young kid.
Yes.
I don't know if he could do the job, but for me, I don't think Petkovic is in trouble. If they don't get a continuous result, maybe by the end of the year,
they're just keeping on losing games. And I have to give kudos to Torino, who are just keeping on picking up 3 points. They grab a tie. They have a little bit of a fall. They come up, guys. They're up there. Of the bottom level teams, if you want to label them that, they're probably the best bottom level team.
And a little side note, kudos to Verona coming back, losing 1-0, 2-1. Paulinho with a penalty. They're in 6th place, guys, right now.
Yeah.
But I think we had discussed in the past that I don't think we're going to see them in Europe anytime soon next year. But they're still giving, they're playing.
They're giving it a run.
Troublemaker.
Exactly. They're gonna play spoiler. They're gonna grab They're gonna grab a draw against one of the high level teams. We see in the background screen, we see that Parma and Inter are getting back on the field.
They're showing
It's
the highlights
1-1
right
at the
now.
half. We'll catch some highlights of that. Guys, an Inter team that needs to take advantage of this.
Yeah.
They need to get those points to get back.
They need to win today.
Exactly,
They need
yeah.
to win today because it's all fine and dandy with Tor here, and you see like defense again with Inter. We just saw these highlights, but at least I'll admit Inter. I prefer being an Interista right now in their situation than what we are here in Milan.
I never want to be an Interista, never.
I'm saying the mentality.
Never.
Guys, we're gonna talk about our red cards of the week as we look at these fantastic highlights here. My red card of the week. Would you like to start? I'll start off. Being sports, watching Milan Livorno on Saturday. The two commentators just talking about Serie A in general and mentioning, oh, what a great move by Juventus last week with inviting the kids over. They were so well behaved. They were well behaved. Look, you're being sports. You cover Serie A. I'm not talking bad about the kids here. What I'm talking about is that it was not a hush-hush news. Juventus got fined because of the bad chanting from the kids. Juventus came out with an official. We're not talking about Salernitana or Regina coming out with it. This is Juventus. And if your commentators can't even know this kind of information, and once again, it proves our point that Serie A lacks respect and it lacks coverage. My red card of the week, those two guys from beIN Sports.
My red card of the week is going to go to FIFA.
FIFA?
Yes, it's going to go to FIFA just because...
I know it's going to be a bit long, so I'm going to start leaving now. Guys, thank you. We'll see you next week.
It's going to go to FIFA just for the ranking system. Unfortunately, yes, it has to touch Italy, and that's why I'm more passionate about it than if it would be touching another nation. But let's face it, a team that's 7th in the world with a history of World Cups that Italy has won throughout the years, get seated in a pot where they can it could be so negative for them, and it's exactly what happened negative to them. I just don't understand their ranking system. They don't take the time to explain it to everybody. They just make decisions on the fly. Like we mentioned and touched earlier, it is always a controversy. It just has to stop. As a governing body of a sport that's world renowned and it touches so many people, it has to be fixed, and it has to be something concrete and clear. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you again.
Thank you to Pitch Fest. Thank you to our free tickets at Pitch Fest.
Pitch Fest was an organization that started here in Montreal, where it would unite all soccer and the arts together. It was fantastic. They showed some films, Rebels by Cantona, etc., etc. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Noel Butler. Thank you, Mr. Jinkers. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Keep on retweeting, keep on sharing. Red Card Weekly, we're out of here.
Ciao.